This SMAK tutorial will show you how to knit maps together. Oftentimes you'll collect the bottom half and then the instrument will crash and you'll have to restart and just collect the top half of the map. So this tutorial will show you how to stitch those together using SMAK. So something like the situation shown here where you have the top and bottom halves that need to be put together in order to form a complete map. Knitting a map together includes several parts. The first is to import all of the data channels into a single file. The next is to adjust map sizes, and then the third piece is actually adding the maps together. Let's get started importing all of the channels into a single file. The first step is to look at the dimensions of each map and make sure that they're either the same height or the same width as the file that you're going to be stitching it to. Also, you want to determine the number of pixels in the other dimensions. So if the width is the same as in the case that we're going to be using here, then how many rows of height are we going to need to add? In this case, it's a 200 micron map, which I got from looking at the coordinates, which we'll do in a second, at 50 micron step size. So we need to add actually 40 rows to the top of the map where it's going to be stitched to. Begin by opening the top file. You can look at the coordinates by placing your mouse in the corner of the map and reading the map coordinates that are displayed in red on the bottom right-hand corner of the map itself. Now open the other file and do the exact same thing, ensuring that the maps that you want to stitch together will actually be aligned. Once you've figured out how the maps that you have to stitch together are oriented relative to one another, the next step is to import the data channels of interest from the first file that we opened. To do this, click the Import Data button on the main GUI. Select the data file to import data from. Click OK if the maps are of different sizes. Select the channels to import and click the OK button. You will then need to rename the channel with a unique name and then press OK. And then shift the data around as necessary so that it'll be in the proper orientation when it's imported. You can check this by clicking the Preview button to make sure that the data is in the proper orientation. When you're happy with the data to be imported, click the OK button. Your imported data will now appear at the bottom of the channel list. The next step is to adjust the map sizes so they can be added together. To do this, open Map Math, select a channel, then select the operation Vert Shift. You will then need to input a scalar equal to the number of rows to be offset, in this case 40, which is the number of rows that we calculated that the top section of the file contained. Check yourself by doing the calculation, then add a unique channel name and save the calculation. Use the inverse of the scalar on the other half of the channel, and then save that as well. The final step in this process is adding the maps together to make a single map. To do this, go back to Map Math, select the top channel and the bottom channel for your data channels and the operation Add. Then do the calculation, rename the channel, and save the calculation. What I noticed when I did the calculation is that I see a little bright line in the middle of my data where the two maps are knitted together, where I see a 1 pixel overlap of the two maps. No problem, I just go through the same process and increase the shift by 1 pixel before re-adding the two maps together. When the map's right, I then save the channel with a unique file name. This process must be repeated for every channel that you're interested in stitching together. Stay tuned for the next SMAK tutorial, quantification.